Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Rohin here, and I welcome you all to another episode of the Agency Growth Lab. And this is where I focus on how entrepreneurs rise above the noisy online market with their proven strategies to grow their agencies to six figures, seven figure, or even eight figures as well. And today we have a very special guest who started his career as an SEO, as I remember, and later he moved on to B2B Lead Gen. So I welcome on board Artem Klimklin. So hi, Artem, how are you?
Rohin, what's up, my bro? Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Well, I'm wonderful. It's a wonderful Saturday morning, 8:45 at where I'm at right now, which is Argentina, Buenos Aires. So thank you very much for having me, bro.
Yeah, now it's pretty early up there, man, because for me it's about like 5:15, so it's not that bad. So yeah, probably after the
I'm so
interview.
sorry for you, bro. You're right there in the future. So anyway.
Yeah. After the call, you can still go back, have some tight sleep before you actually
Ah,
start enjoying your weekend and chase some scores. All
what
right.
weekend, bro? We work every day, every single minute. No weekend
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us.
yeah. No, I still remember the time, madam, and that's a bit of a background. I remember is like I think that was about like 2017 something when we first met, and you were very much into the SEO at that time. I remember, and then and especially the link building, isn't it? So and
Yeah, that is correct.
what was the brand name? There was some link something. What was the brand name?
Yeah, I called it Link's Hero at the time, and then apparently it
Hero.
didn't
Yes,
make.
yes,
Yeah, it because
yep.
people kept seeing, instead of reading like Link's Hero, they were like Link Shiro, and I was like, what
Yes.
the hell?
Yes. So yeah, no,
Uh,
that was back in 2017 something. I remember when we first met in one of our SEO community, and I remember even at that time also you were very keen actually sharing up the knowledge, and this is one of the best thing I've always seen in yourself. So it's like 6 years, but the nature, the whole thing hasn't been changed. Even at that time, you were keen in sharing all your wisdom. Even today, if the people go to your YouTube channel, I see your YouTube videos pretty much every second day. And then I remember like there is a lot of ninja stuff you actually share of there. So yeah, at the end of the this podcast, I'll definitely share the your YouTube channel link as well, because I'm sure there is a lot we all can learn from that. So yeah, no, that's
thank,
great. That's great. Keep doing that great stuff with
thank you.
Mike. All right, so we'll start with the very first module. So I've tried to actually structure out this thing in my head, like how should I take the max out of yourself? So the very first module, I want to touch base with the same topic which we discussed as the background. You started as an SEO, like we said, and all of a
SEO
sudden,
link building, yeah.
yes, SEO link building, and then link building is still very hot. As I know, a lot of link building agencies, they're doing it. We sell links, manage SEO campaigns, everything as well. But for you, it was a big switch from link building all the way up to B2B lead gen, and especially using a very special framework, which you call it as a social selling. So we'll talk about the social selling after. But what made you kind of for this switch? What was that reason for that?
There are like two components of this. So first of all, if you look at it, link building, SEO link building stuff is taking the same route as like SEO affiliate stuff. So there are few bigger players that manage to grow their agencies and their operations. And then it kind of becomes very, very similar to like this affiliate stuff that we've seen before. So you really want to like you want to be growing and really improving this. So for the I wasn't genuinely enjoying the process of link building because it's fairly monotonous, very repetitive. There's a lot of processes involved, and you have to really kind of always kind of improve. Yeah, because it really it is not it's not simple, once you do the thing correctly, once you supply your clients with amazing quality backlinks. Yeah, it's there's a lot of work behind this. Yeah, you have to charge accordingly as well, and very, let's say, far like the minority, it's only the minority of potential clients that have the budget for the quality stuff that you do, right? So there is always this like quality quantity type of approach. So it was kind of complicated. So, and personally, as I said, I never really kind of enjoyed, I always felt like I'm not doing something right, you know? So, because I wasn't really like wanting to grow, and, you know, I was like, okay, I'll get these many clients and I'll be fine, which was kind of the case, but still, I didn't really enjoy this process. So that's I was like, I took a sit. I was like, man, like I'm doing something that I feel like I'm not really enjoying. So what is that that I would really enjoy doing? What is that what I do in my life? Yeah, every time that I can really help my people with, and that I would actually enjoy doing. And I took some time off. Yes, so I really kind of took myself out from everywhere, and I like just started looking around and testing different things. So I knew that I need to have some form of like I had all this experience, yeah, like all these agencies and all these connections and like people I met through the conferences online and so on and so forth. So I was like, I should really use my experience, because like really canceling this is really not
Mhm.
smart. And truth be said, it's pretty hard to do, because once you're like, once you know something, you kind of naturally kind of gravitate to it, and it's hard to kind of learn new stuff, you know. So it's hard for
Yes.
you to kind of take yourself out completely from this one set and go into another one and completely ignore this first thing. So, and I started playing around, you know, I tried to launch a community. It kind of worked, but then it kind of fell apart because, yeah, it wasn't really that right idea. It didn't have a proper offer at the time. So it was
Mhm.
only like few weeks ago, few months ago,
Yep.
not long ago. So, and then I figured out, I was like, yeah, I'm really good at this kind of selling myself, you know, and because I lived in so many different countries and I understand people's how they are, how they operate. Like, you know, I can,
Yep.
you know, almost in the heartbeat, I can make myself relevant to whoever I'm
Exactly.
talking to. It doesn't matter if they're from one place or another one. And I figured this is something that could really show SEO community in particular, and just agency folks in general, like how this stuff works. So this is when this social selling came in.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's great, because that's going to be my next question about the social selling. But I completely agree with you after Adam. We a lot of times I meet the SEO agencies especially, and they say like, "Hey, we are struggling. We are not really getting any kind of leads. How could we grow our business?" And I'm like, okay, tell me like what exactly are you doing to actually generate the leads? They say like, oh no, we are not really doing anything. We are not really running and kind of ads or so. And I said, all right, now the problem is not with your lead gen. The problem is like you're not really putting in the right kind of an effort to bring in the leads. And so you need to actually use a proper structured approach. It's not something like you just publish some ads and then you say, hey, okay, something really gonna happen and I'm gonna start getting the leads every day, because the real business doesn't work like this. So the value driven approach is really required. And I think that's what you are doing at the moment as well, as per your videos and all that. So that brings me to the next thing, is the social selling. So yeah, we all want to know about the social selling. It's kind of a unique concept. I've never heard that before, to be honest, but it's something definitely I want to know, like how exactly you go about it. What is the kind of framework you use for it? And is that you can see a big difference in the amount of leads, and especially the quality of leads as well, as compared to the paid ads?
Yeah, man, thank you for asking this one. So we'll start from the from the small
Okay.
start. So
Yeah.
social selling is not really new concept. Yeah, it's been out there for a while, and like I didn't create this. Yeah, so it's been out there for a while. So
All right.
the idea behind this, yeah, the idea behind this is that before you can really pitch anything, and I'll get to that in a moment, before you can pitch anything to the person, you really want to connect with them on a certain amount of levels. Yeah. So you have some form of established, well,
Yep.
certainly communication and rapport. And it's only then when they become, and I'd rather say not even ready to buy, but it's then when they become receptive to actually hear what you have to say. I have
Oh,
a story. Yeah, I have a story about that, which happened to me in real life, because it was in Chiang Mai, yeah, where we met. And
yeah,
after one of the days of the conference, I think I went to this food market in Chiang Mai. So, and I was sitting there and I was having my cow soy, the soup, yeah. And out of nowhere, there's this like crazy dressed lady that comes out. She's like, she's moving in some weird ways, and she's like,
yeah,
and she's dressed up really weird, and she's just going through like people not fast, and she's while she's moving, she's got something in her hand, and she's like doing this with the stick, and then the sound comes out, and it was the frog, if you can recall. It got these frogs there, so like this wooden frog, which you kind of, you have a little stick, and then once you go above it, because it has these little ribs
yeah,
on top of this, so
yeah.
it makes the sound. So, and I didn't even see the frog the first time, and I just see like this crazy lady. It's like so weird. So I
Yeah.
eat the soup, and then I get out. It's like, what the hell? So next day I'm there again, and I was there in Chiang Mai, it was like 2 weeks. Yeah. So I get
Yeah.
out again. I see this. It's like, what is going like? Um, okay, this crazy lady again.
Same thing.
And then the
Typical.
following day, she's back there, and again she's doing this, and I'm like, oh, this is this crazy lady with this crazy frog. Cool stuff, you know. And the next day she shows up again. I'm there, same place, same everything. She shows up again. I see her, and I buy full frogs, you know. So right
Right.
away.
Yeah.
So what happened here? Everything was the same. Same setting, same approach, basically. Yeah. Same product, same everything. Yeah. But I was getting more and more familiar with this person. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and then I could see that she has something to offer, and that I could see something's pretty cool. Yeah. So
Okay.
before I could see the product and the offer, I had to become familiar with whoever is delivering the message.
Okay.
So this is the idea behind, because like if you think about the real world setting, you're walking in the street, and then there's a guy jumps out to you, which is like 98% of all lead generation services, jumps out at you and it's like, Rohin, bro, I can help you make 10K a month, guaranteed. Like, you have, I've got all these proofs, like, you know, I've got the video testimonials, I've got everything. You just have to pay me $1,000 and I'll give you money back, you know, if it doesn't work for you in like 3 months, whatever. Promise, guaranteed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look at him and you're like, he's a crazy guy. You just walk away because you don't know
Yeah.
who the hell that guy is. So he
Exactly
hasn't
right.
been through the certain hoops of the communication. So this
Exactly right.
is what social selling is really about: connecting with people before you can really pitch anything.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's, I think that makes a lot of sense, that to drive the value before we actually go in and asking them for any kind of like a pitch. So before we, and that's, I guess this is where most of the people, they actually get wrong. Agencies or even the local businesses, they just want to focus 100% on the pitch itself. They just want to get them. It's something like getting married on the first day. So they're going to them and they're saying, "Hey, would you get me
Yeah,
married?" And that's on the first day. And what the response gonna be? They're probably gonna say, "Hey, I don't know you. We've just met today." And this is where the concept of what you're saying, the social selling, really gonna help, where we are delivering a lot of value, making them familiar with what we do, how good we are into that, and then we are giving them a kind of a solution for their pain. I guess that can actually make a lot of difference. So you mean to say you have seen, using this particular approach, you have seen a lot of benefit as compared to the traditional selling tactics, isn't it?
yeah, it's very different. So instead of it creates opportunities beyond just one single sale. Yeah, it's
All right.
it's really really powerful, because,
All
and that's the way people kind of um, don't see it, you know. So people are like driven by made up KPIs, which are like the number of people they reach out to, the number of people they reach. And I'm sure talking about like this traditional lead generation service when you are like just spamming your way through. And don't get me wrong, you can get results with this method, but you really need to have a very tight ICP, so ideal customer profile. So you need to be pitching a very, very, very specific audience. Yeah. And you have to have a very, very tight, like mega offer pretty much. Yeah. You need to have exact deliverables. You need to have the time frame, risk mitigation, social proof, all those things dialed in. So it has to be really, really valuable. It can work, but even if it does work, it will only work like up to 3%. It's
Yep.
that low. Yeah.
All right.
It's that low. And if you have a really tight audience you reach out to begin with, the audience will be like, you will run through it really quickly. Okay. So
Yep.
you will also have to change like your offer if you're trying to widen up the audience afterwards. So yes, it works. Yeah. Like old school, like this crazy stuff works.
Yep.
But it's in a way, it's a waste of time, because once you're going through all those not interested replies on your emails, you could be instead like connecting with people in a genuine way and really
Yes.
like, yeah, talking to them.
Okay. And but I've seen you most of the time you work on the LinkedIn, isn't it? Or do you work on Insta or TikTok or even Meta as well? Because majority of your
LinkedIn.
leads are is the LinkedIn, is the quality of leads. You say we can get it from LinkedIn is much better, because to be very honest, I've never tried LinkedIn myself, because I feel like a majority of our especially the SEO community, maybe it's mainly on Metas, but I could be wrong too. So what were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, well, it
And
depends on who your target audience is for sure. So once, if you're reaching out to people that are naturally occurring on LinkedIn, say like SaaS folks, like if your
yep,
target audience is SaaS, and LinkedIn is the place,
yep,
100%. If that is something different, like small businesses, if you say, if you're an SEO doing work for, say, plumbers, then yeah, like Instagram could be a good way for you. Even you can even work it out with the emails as well. So
yep,
it's all doable. Yeah, you just need to really a little bit understand how these people operate, and
yep,
also the stages of like reselling process, which is basically just education. Yeah, really. Because once you switch from perspective of like trying to get this client and pitch them your service and sell it to them, and try to really like help these people, because once you think about it, like these people, they're just like you, they're in business. And if somebody reaches out to them, it's like, yo man, like, really want to help you out. I prepared this thing for you. I hope this helps. Good luck.
yes. All right.
This goes like a long way. So
And so you reckon that for B2B, especially LinkedIn is a good platform to
LinkedIn allows it's basically like the biggest business directory, because you've got all the businesses that exist. They go there and create their pages themselves, like company pages, and
yep,
they fill up the information for you. So you don't have to like scrape anything. Yeah, you just go in there and you see basically their characteristics, like headcount, headquarters location. Like if you need to verify their website, yeah, you do it separately. Like I did this for a client of mine. Yeah, I would really, it's crazy. Like with SEOs, for example, if you're looking to work with SaaS company, like I speak to a bunch of like SEO link builders guys as well. And when they're like, oh yeah, we're doing this cold outreach. And then, we find these websites, which are SaaS websites. It's not hard to do. And then we check out their traffic, and then we check out their DR. And then based on this, we send out outreach email. And once you start actually checking out these websites on LinkedIn, you'll be like, wow, like 2/3 of these websites, like out of that you filtered out so far, they don't fit, because they're either like located in a country that you are not going to work with, or
mm-hmm,
they have crazy amount of employees, or they don't have any employees. Like they don't fit. Like you can see that they don't have the budget, and they just have it out there like in the stealth mode, whatever, like that you have. So LinkedIn allows you to kind of check this, not SEO, but like really company profile, and
yes,
understand what's going on behind the scenes. Like what's the team like, how many people they have, how long have been out there for. And it really is a gem in this case. Yeah, you can
And I
find
guess
a lot of stuff.
that kind of thing is somehow missing in most of the platforms because they are more of, especially Meta and Insta, they're more kind of a more like socializing kind of a platforms, what I've seen, whereas LinkedIn is like you can get a kind of a mix. You can get the CEOs and you can get directly in touch with the decision makers who really have a power to actually generate the business we are actually looking for. So we can
Yeah,
actually rather than just mucking around, sending out the emails, we doesn't know like if people are really checking those emails or who is actually checking those emails, we even don't know. But wherever
yeah,
we are working on LinkedIn kind of a platforms, what I have seen is like you can directly in touch with the people who are good, who can take the decisions right away. So
yeah.
this
It
is
depends on the size of the company as well. So of course, again, if you're reaching out to a local plumber that's got a few employees, or maybe he's self-employed, then 100% makes a decision on the same day, maybe. If it's a bigger like B2B company, then yeah, it can
yeah.
take a while. It can take a
Yes,
while.
yes,
Like,
it has to go through different legs in that way. So
yeah,
that makes
exactly.
so
And also
coming
like
to
the sales cycle. It's just a
yeah,
quick note about like the sales cycle, because I think it's very uh bro, can you hear me still?
yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, wait a second, because my uh yeah, it should be back. Sorry about this.
Well,
So weird.
now that's great. So
Yeah.
the next question I really
I'll just have
want
a
to
quick note, because I remember I wanted to
the sales tactic something.
yeah, like them. So back to business sales cycles. They can take quite a lot. Like you have to think like months, yeah, 3-4 months. Like it can be that long, even longer sometimes if you're going for like a really huge client. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be ready to, and that's what once you kind of know this, yeah, you don't need to um like you almost understand that you will not get the sale from the start, and that changes your perspective dramatically. Yeah, so instead of like sending weird follow-ups like, oh, did you get my message, I know you're busy, like chill, bro. Like even if they read your message, they're not going to make the decision right away. So you have to, before you can pitch something, you have to actually get their response first. And that is the trick that nobody understands.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And do you use some kind of like a platform or a tool to manage all this? Like, how do you keep track of all these guys that, okay, I've spoken to this guy and this guy hasn't replied me back, so I need to circle back with him in probably another week time. And then this is kind of approach, or maybe the guy has said, okay, can you touch base with me in 2 weeks time? For now, I've got something urgent going on right now in the company. So do you use some tool or have you automated these kind of things or what usually happen?
Yeah, so this is a good, valid question. So I just like a lot of more advanced folks on LinkedIn, like agency owners that would use like automation tools like Galaxy or Dripify to kind of send out
Yeah.
those connection requests. However, maybe like around 2 months, I think, LinkedIn kind of patched one of the loopholes that it had for quite a while, which now basically disallowed these tools to add up to like 2,500 connection requests on a basically monthly basis. Yeah, so now it's down to around 800 with the tools, and so the connection requests value has gone up dramatically. So you really have a lot less of those. So you really want to make sure that you're only sending them to those decision makers that
Yeah.
actually fit your, fit your ICP, once again, ideal customer profile. So you cannot waste those. So, and instead of really taking this route, I recommend really like even just without using any tools, you just find companies like, and I mean it, like really find like the most amount that I spend on during this entire process is on actually finding the companies that fit my ICP. That's so
Okay.
important. So I verify them on multiple levels, and only then I proceed with searching for the decision maker.
Yep. All
And
right.
then I send them the connection request. So what ends up happening is that instead of going for quantity, you go for quality. And then by the
Quality.
end of the month, yeah, by the end of the month, LinkedIn naturally allows you to connect with it's different value for everybody, but like you should really think about like 400 connection requests a month is a good mark.
All
And
right.
even if you don't personalize anything, you would still get approximately like 100 people, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, depending on your industry, depending on your
Yep.
LinkedIn profile,
Yep.
accepting your connection request. Okay.
All right.
So you have like 100 people at the end of the month, decision makers from your
This,
ideal companies.
yes.
That is like crazy. And now you
But
know that you have like 3 or 4 months of development, like that the sale will not convert like on the spot. So it becomes really easy to manage these guys because you can do
mhm,
certain things, you can standardize them, like the first message that you send out can be pretty standard. And then you follow up with them with some value. And because they all belong to the same target audience, yeah, they're all the same, operate in the same kind of industry niche, whatever, you basically reach them out with pretty much the same stuff. So it's not that hard.
the the so I'm just trying to understand the entire framework is the step-by-step process. If I say you find out the right kind of people, you send them the friend request, so connection request, they accept
Yeah.
that connection request, and then you start nurturing them out with DMs. Or you're saying like you nurture them out with your profile, and they it's by chance they are visiting the profile, they're reading and engaging with your post, and they're getting familiar with your post, and then only you're pitching them via DM them. Whoever is going to comment in those posts, then you are going to DM them. Is that something going to happen? Or what is the process? Because
Yeah,
pitching
sure.
them,
I'll share.
sending them the connection request up to that particular point was okay. That's not a problem. Everyone just do it. Sending them the keep on sending them the messages after that. I don't know. Maybe I feel it sometimes. It's kind of spammy. But again, with my little knowledge about these things, I could be wrong too. So how you go about it?
All valid questions. So again, it just takes a bit of a perspective change, like the mind shift. So I really like this to call, like I created this analogy at some stage for something different, but it really applies in this case as well. So
All right.
imagine like you're in the conference and then you just bump into a guy or a girl, whatever, and then you start talking to them. Yeah. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, where'd you come from? Like what brought you here? What'd you do? Stuff like this. And of course, you can be a little bit more straight to the point at the conference because you're at the same event, people like you're looking at the person right away. So it's a little bit, you can go a little bit more personal right away. Here, it's about the same thing. You're like, you just, you have to be a little bit creative with what you write. But, if, like I have this opener for, like for people I see like, oh, how's the weather in the city or town where they live? And it mentions that on the LinkedIn. So most of the time they've got something, they've
Yep.
got at least their country. So you can say, how's the summer in this area? Like, and then you can make a funny joke, especially like it works with UK really well because it's like this little kind of funny kind of funny joke that they got going on there. Like, yeah, we've got all the sun. So, and I'm like, yeah, did you get your tan already? So like, because it's funny because it's really hard to get tan in the UK because of the weather, even though it has been changing. So
All
stuff
right.
like this creates a bit of like, I don't need anything else. I just need them to respond. That's it. Once they respond, I'm like, it was nice to meet you. I'll see you around LinkedIn. That's it. Just disappear because you've achieved now a big step. They replied back at you. Perfect. So they made actually the step. It's like when people sign up for your stuff. Yeah, they opted in. They clicked like send me your free stuff, whatever. And that's it.
Mhm.
You just leave afterwards. Like see you around LinkedIn. Same time, you post content. Yeah, so they see you not just in your DMs, but also with the content that you post. So
All
it
right.
needs to be not not shit, basically. Yeah. So that is the standard of the content.
Yes.
So when they
So,
check it out, they know what's going on.
oh yeah.
And then at some stage, you take a few moments and then you check out their website once again and see, oh, maybe this can help or something. Or you can start asking questions because just given very specific personal advice is there's a time and a date for this. It might be still too early. Yeah. So you want to like really connect with them on a personal level, especially I'm talking about the Western culture. Yeah, it's really
Yes.
important. So and then after that, you can start asking them more businessy kind of questions. Or they can even start asking businessy questions yourself, themselves. Yeah. So that also happens. They're like, because you're having a valid conversation with them and they're like, oh, tell me about what you do. This happens all the time. You don't even need to like, because if they have a problem with something, they'll let you know. So they will
Yes.
weed themselves out like that.
All right. No, as I can understand from the entire conversation is like it's not kind of a process which can be automated as such because there is a lot of personalization involved into that. I think that's what the purpose of social selling is. Like this kind of thing can't be done with a tool. And this is maybe it's one of the reasons why the people they don't really get too much involved with LinkedIn is because they don't want to put that much effort into it. And whoever the one who is trying to put the effort that is going to generate the leads, quality leads via this platform as well.
Yeah, I mean, this type of stuff, it's only like it kind of makes sense for like a higher ticket offer. So, but even then, people don't understand. Like, I just had a chat with a friend of mine. He's a Shopify agency owner, and
Yep.
right now he's getting like huge clients. That once he told me the clients that he's gotten, and obviously cannot relieve them. I was like, dude, I
Yes.
actually know them, and I know them because I watch UFC, like MMA stuff on ESPN, and these
Yes.
guys they buy ads on ESPN. That's how big they are, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Eh, yeah, so it's the size of the clients, and he looks at my stuff and he's like, dude, this is amazing. This is exactly what I did to get these clients, and
Yes.
these clients. What happens is that once you get like a client like this, and once you do a really good job for them, they bring more people in. So
Yep.
what ended up happening right now, my friend is like telling me, he's like, dude, like I get these clients right now, and I don't really know what I should be doing with the rest of my previous clients because they're like, they're so like something that I've seen so big at the time. Now they're like tiny. Like I get these whales. So this is the idea that people miss. They're like, oh yeah, if we connect with this one person who spent all much time, even if we just, even if we get a sale, that'll be just one sale.
Oh yeah.
Guess what? They've got connections. They've got connections. And then once you do a really good job for them, they can recommend you.
They
And
can rec.
nothing like no marketing tactic beats the referrals once you can essentially once you can control them like this,
I
because you
agree.
really like go and connect with this. Like, even if you take like, say you take like this 100 people that accepted you on LinkedIn, okay? And then you don't do anything else. You just chat with them for the next 3, 4 months. Yeah. And slowly kind of making your way through. And
Yep.
they fit your ICP. They're perfect clients. They pay you as much as you tell them, based
Yep.
on your offer, of course. And then you just start working your way through. So the first month you can get like one client. The next month you get two or three. Next one you get three or four. And it goes like this.
All right. So, Adam, I'm like, what kind of services do you provide to your clients when it comes to B2B lead generation?
I uh I was thinking of like I was playing with an idea of doing like a done for you service, but I don't want to do this. It makes no sense. It's an important for a company that is a smaller size, like up to a certain amount of people, for an
Mhm.
agency that is a certain amount of people. You cannot
Mhm.
outsource these things because you really like nobody knows your client. Like nobody should know your client better than you do. And I understand this now after I've gone like through quite some like lead gen stuff, because once you kind of look through them, you're like, okay, okay, this makes sense. Okay, I don't want to work with this guy. So you really
Yep.
have to figure it out internally before you really want to outsource this, because I've spoken to myriads of SEO agency owners, and it's all the same. We tried outsourcing our lead gen, didn't work.
Mhm.
You have to figure it out yourself. So right now I have this beta kind of thing that I'm doing with the agency owners. So it's a done with you service. So this is when we come in and I show them the stuff. I help them to set it up. I can train the VA if it's necessary as well. So I really like help them up to set up this thing internally.
Yeah, all right. So it's basically like training them up and make them capable to do this thing all by themselves using the right kind of an approach, right kind of a framework, and right kind of scripts as well. So
Exactly, because there's
do you
quite
find
a
like
few
you
things that
provide
need.
them? Was that sorry?
No, I was gonna say that there's quite a few things that you have to dial in to, because like LinkedIn, just not just LinkedIn, like anything, it's like a puzzle, and you
Yep,
need to have like it's like with Google rankings, right? So you need to have like you have whatever how many ranking factors, and you need to take all the boxes. Yeah, so it's the same
agree.
thing here.
I
Same thing.
agree to this, yes. No, I agree to this. I think it's a really very good approach because if you try to do the done for you kind of a thing with that kind of a model, it's probably gonna be not that scalable as well, maybe because you need a very bigger teams and you need to and all these agency owners they might not understand they actually work in a different kind of niches as well. So it means like they might not be having a proper hand-on knowledge for every niche too. So this is it's a good thing and it's a bad thing too. The good thing is like they can have a variety of clients, they can work with them, and the bad thing is like they can't really make them capable in each and every niche. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah, so it's really very hard, and I guess this is where I always say is like a brain specialist always makes more money than a GP because this is where we can be the specialist in our field. For in your case, it's a B2B lead generation. So if the person needs a B2B lead generation, and if there is a company who is providing any kind of service, they definitely want to come to you because you are the specialist in that field. So I think that kind
I
of
even
approach
I even
is good.
specialize, like as I say, I preach. I walk my talk. So I work with, my focus is on agencies. Yeah, so it's not
All
just
right.
like any B2B.
Yep.
So agencies is my focus. Yeah, it's
All right.
it has to be like, it has to be fixed, all this lead gen stuff for sure.
All right. Yep. No worries. And so the tool side we have already covered. And I think the only thing which I would be really keen to see it, like if you can do a quick screen share and can show us a kind of a glimpse of the bit of a thing. I know it's a very tedious process in itself. It's not that straightforward that we can cover it in like a quick 2-3 minutes to show us. But is there something you can show us like how you go about find the kind of an audience only, not the entire thing, but just an audience part only. Like let's say if we are the one, and if I'm the one, I'm looking for the people who can purchase our white label services. So that is kind of an audience I'm looking for. So if
So like an agency.
yeah, agencies, yes,
Okay, so let me share my screen and we can play with this stuff.
if you can please.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, I can see your screen.
So you can see my screen. Wonderful. So here I'm on my LinkedIn page, and I'm for to kind of find what you're looking at. I want to go to my Sales Navigator first, and
Sure.
Sales Navigator, just buy it. Yeah, so it's the thing that will bring you the business. So it's like this revenue generating machine, and it
Yep.
costs for that what it offers. It costs like very little, so you can just go and buy this.
Yep.
So here inside Sales Navigator, you get this like dashboard, and to kind of get into the search mode, you just go to the search and hit enter, and you end up in this menu, and you've got all these different filters. So inside Sales Navigator, you've got your leads and you've got your accounts. And if I was translated to normal English from LinkedIn English, basically this is people and this is
Yep.
businesses. Yeah, so this is the people
Oh,
search and this is the business. So a lot of people, they go, like the
with
majority, I should say, they go to the leads right away. and they try to kind of pinpoint everything here and find the right person. But I don't like this way because it's it makes no sense to me. It's like, because you really don't know how many companies you have there, because you're at B2B, you're selling to companies, so you really want to know the amount of companies you have to go through. So instead of starting with people, you go to account. And it's the same story here. You've got different filters, a lot less, but let's play with it. So where was your ideal client be located?
I'd probably be Australia, United States, Canada.
Let's pick
These
Australia. Let's keep it small for now.
go
Let's
with
keep it
it.
Australia. So then, well, obviously we've got how many would you reckon would they have people working there? What's the company headcount? We've got
Well,
a few options here.
probably be like 1 to 10 is an ideal SEO agencies. They usually, because they try to outsource a lot of things. So
One to
yeah,
10.
1 to 10 is the ideal number, I would say.
Beautiful. So now we've got Australia, we've got 1 to 10. You can also like fill in some information for revenue, but at this level, because there are smaller folks, it's not accurate. So I ignore this at this level. There's also a bunch of other filters like company headcount growth. If you want to, find somebody that is like growing, hiring, for example, as well,
Yep.
you can do that inside. Also some spotlights like job opportunities. We don't really need this, but
Yep.
this is like a good to start filter. So now what we need to do, we can actually play with the industry as well. I will illustrate some examples here, but
Could be
so for
digital
example,
marketing.
if we type in SEO, we probably don't have anything here, but say
Yeah,
if we type in marketing, yeah, see, you've got this marketing services. So once you pick marketing services, you end up with approximately 2,000 companies, yeah, within this headcount and based in Australia. Okay.
in Australia. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I will take this out for now and I'll show you something else which we can play with. So for example, I only want to find SEO agencies, right? So what I can type in here, I'm going to write SEO and I'm going to write and agency. So LinkedIn,
What?
just like Google, has a form of advanced search.
Yep.
So what I'm giving it here is like, I want to have every company that mentions SEO on their description and
Yep.
agency.
Yep.
So I'm going to hit enter right now. And I'm down to 1.5 thousand agencies based in Australia within this market size, within this
Yep.
headcount. And yeah. So
Yep.
now what do I do? And you can see that some of them have only 2 employees. One of them's got 1 employee. So they're like, yeah, so they're pretty small.
Yep.
So now you will see that some of them, like there will be some collateral damage, like for example, this human resources services. Let's check out the page real quick to understand where the stuff is coming from. So if you type in SEO here, you see they mention SEO. That's why this then showed up. So we can technically kind of get them on board as well. Now, before finding the decision maker, what I like doing is that you can open up all these profiles of companies and quickly, and quickly look at their websites. Yeah, just to make sure that you are picking up, because you really don't want to waste all this time if you check out their website and it's not there anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So for example, here's this agency iceberg. So you
Yep.
check it out and it looks pretty good to me. Yeah. So I'll keep it. Now that looks pretty good as well. So I'll keep it. This one looks pretty good as well. I'll keep it.
Yep.
Yeah. We're just making sure that the stuff we are trusted,
Yeah,
experienced,
I can
innovative.
imagine that. Yep.
Yeah. Like, for example, this one is to do with like athlete branding,
Yes.
athlete management. So that's probably not within the target audience. So I will close this just to
Yep.
give an idea. Okay.
Yep.
And we'll assume that this one is a keeper. So now that I've run through these, yeah, I can kind of add them to lists, but I will not do this here for this for the
Yep.
for this presentation. I just want to show, like, for example, we picked these ones. Yeah, we've got
Yep.
4. Now we are going to go into their, close this. We can go into their employees, and to do this, I click view current employees and I hold the control button here. I'm on Windows. You can use command if you're on Mac.
Mhm.
And you have now these companies and you see all their employees, all the people that
Their
work there.
employers as well. Yes, 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 yes.
And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these companies one by one. And to do this, I'm going to exclude all the companies but the first one. So this is the white SERP. And I've got like, see this? That's what I was hoping for this one. That's a good example. So
Yep,
even though they say that the agency is based in Australia, well, we can see that the founder is in Bengaluru and the
yep.
product manager is in Noida.
In
I don't
Noida,
know if
yeah.
it fits you.
It's
Exactly. So
probably
I
a
don't know if it fit.
I guess.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm saying like it probably because be some virtual company who might have registered something in Australia. So who knows? Because
Exactly.
the Bengaluru and Noida, they are two different places. They are pretty far away. So one is in the North India, the other one is in the founder is sitting in the South India.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see they've got like different states as well. So
Yep,
that is the thing. It's like, if you didn't check this out on LinkedIn, you would be reaching out to that agency thinking it's in Australia, while it
exactly,
really isn't.
exactly
So
right.
it's a waste. Yeah. So we
Mm.
close this one, go to the next one. So this one is actually Perth, and he's probably got this VA somewhere. So this
Yes,
is like really small, but now we can actually reach out to this guy and try to connect with him. And yeah, he's got his information here about this agency, founder, yada yada. So now to connect with the guy, you have to jump through LinkedIn hoops, because what it does is that if you click connect right here, what will
yeah,
happen is that you will actually connect to them inside Sales Navigator. And Sales Navigator is almost like a shadow version of standard LinkedIn. It has a separate messaging box. So this
yes,
messaging box inbox has nothing to do with LinkedIn's inbox. So you will not be even like, you won't be able to see email like messages that come to you here. So that's how funny this is. So you don't want to connect with them here. Instead, you want to click on their name like I did a moment ago. You have the sidebar on the right. You click these three dots and you've got this menu. You click view LinkedIn profile, again holding the control command button so it opens up in a separate one. And there you have it. So here's my man, Jared,
yep, yep.
and all the information is here. He's active on LinkedIn as well, which is great. So I
Yep,
can now go, and before reaching out to him, before connect with him, actually leaving a comment on one of his posts, because
yep.
he's got 16 likes, just one comment. He will see my comment 100%. So I can leave a comment and then I can go and hit the connect button. And that's it. That's how it starts. That
Yeah,
is the
and that's
process.
where the person can actually start the engagement as well. So no, I
Exactly.
that's your point basically. Like this kind of thing cannot a tool cannot really do that because a tool is not really be capable to take that kind of do that kind of data mining to understand the overall scenario or the ISP
Exactly.
and understand to whom they need to touch base and who is worth approach or not. Like an example, we see that in this white cell. So that was a very good example. Like the company is registered in Australia, but they do have their founder and their SEO guy maybe in India. So why
Happens all
would
the
they
time.
go and outsource it? And that's the approach. Why would they go and outsource to someone in India when they already know they can hire someone for even cheaper on a
Exactly.
way on a monthly wages in India? So, but if we
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, don't really see all this. If you keep on actually touching base, spending like months and nurturing them out, and then later on it's gonna be a rejection. So this kind of homework, if you're gonna do it before that, I think it's gonna save a lot of time as well.
Exactly. It's like
That's a super step, man. That's really a
this
great.
this I'll have a metaphor for this. This kind of work allows you to escape the illusion that you are working on generating business, because in essence what you do is you actually waste so much effort, yeah, by reaching out to everybody, and you don't even know who's on the other side. So in
Yes.
this type of work really takes you out of this bubble and actually shows you what's going on and whether it
Ex-
actually makes sense at the start.
Yeah.
So I spent like, an extra maybe minute to go through these, like even the websites, yeah, to check out the people at the back. And I'm really happy the example was there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can see it changes like your work for the months to come. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That's definitely. And do you reckon, like, when it comes to the messaging or nurturing them out, because a lot of people these days they are trying to take in help of Chat GPT kind of a tool. So you reckon that Chat GPT can be used in these kind of scenarios to build a kind of relationship with them?
Mm, not at this stage. There are there is a tool, at least one that I tested and I actually reviewed it on YouTube. I recorded a review video which produces these comments. I can actually show you while I'm still sharing the screen. Like,
Sure.
you can see my screen all right, yeah?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so if I go to say his comment, the tool is called Engage AI. And
Mhm.
so once I'm here in the comment section, I've got this little kind of thingy right here. See?
Yeah.
Like every time I hover over it, I get this menu. So now if I click, I can pick different comments here. So like
Yeah.
versions of like tones for comments. I can, for example, congratulate, disagree, funny, friendly. Let's pick it friendly. So, and now what the tool will do, it basically kind of goes back to ChatGPT, kind of
Mm-hmm.
sends it the post, and then it spits out this comment.
Oh yeah.
The problem is that, yeah, you see, that's it. The problem is that it looks amazing the first time, but then once you do like 2 3 times and you read through these things, like you see this stuff right away. You see so many people using this now.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, and it's like I don't like this because now I have to, it really doesn't solve the pain of like going through the post itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now I have to make sure that I have to kind of skim through the post, make sure that the comment makes sense. So it's I created more work for myself. So that's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it
No,
makes no sense.
no, no, that's true, man. That's true. And
So
so yeah,
yeah,
these.
going back to your question with Chat GPT, no. Like you really want to, like I'm a people's person. I'm genuinely interested in people. So like sometimes I have like I like recently I had only like 2 days ago I had this conversation with this one lady that I was reaching out to for a client. And then because she was from a certain place, I got so interested in it. I was like, "Oh, can you tell me more about this? Where are you from? Like, can't no, really tell me." She's like, "Why are you asking all these questions, you weirdo?" Because this was like a very start. And then I
Yeah.
had to explain myself because I'm genuinely interested in the history of this area. So that's why I'm asking. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And this allows for a certain level of additional connection, so people think in KPIs. And again, it's like, yeah, we have to, like, we cannot spend more than 1 minute per person. Forget about this. You can and you should, because you're connecting to the person. You can ask them for referrals afterwards.
Yep.
Easy.
All right. And just a final question for the day is like, if anyone who is really keen to actually understand all these things which can help them to grow their agency to the next level, like where they can go, they can see you. I mean, like, can you open up your YouTube channel and can show us really quickly? Or your LinkedIn profile, we have already seen it's at the name of Artem Klimklin. So that's the
Yeah, here's
one.
my LinkedIn profile and my YouTube channel. You'll see all my UFC videos now.
Is it
I
on the
know,
same name
not
as
really.
well?
Oh no, it's the other one. I'll have a link for you there. So
Sure.
I'll probably
Just
want.
send it, like, and I'll try to put it in there because that's
Yeah.
definitely there is so much to consume. I can see from your YouTube channel as well. I've seen some of the videos, they're very detailed, and it's not something which everyone is sharing, to be honest. I mean, like,
Yeah,
especially
I've got like my last video is like almost 38 minutes, so it's like you can imagine how detailed this is.
oh yeah, yeah, I can imagine that because and I know it because I know it from back those days of SEO link building where you shared sometimes those Excel Google Sheets with us as well. Do you remember like those Google Sheets templates you shared with
Yeah.
everyone? to make the task super easy, to manage the entire link building when our VAs or someone is doing that. So I
Yeah.
remember that was a very next level stuff, which no one was
Now it's
sharing.
like it's so old school. Now I see, like, because I have access to like people's like top tier agencies. I see like the
Yeah.
infrastructure they built in inside. I'm like,
Oh,
okay. So
yeah,
it's,
no,
I
oh,
mean, don't get me wrong, spreadsheets still work, but like these guys, it's like, whoa, some of this stuff is next level.
yeah, no, I sometimes really, you can call me a old school guy, but I really still rely a lot on the Google spreadsheets. I'll tell you
So
this
do
way.
I.
For
So do
I've
I.
got a team of about like 60 people. And what happened is like the different teams, like there is a manage SEO teams, there's a client sales teams, and everyone they're working. And it's super hard for me to actually go through each and every sheets to manage the things. So this is why I've got one master sheet, Google
But
Sheet,
yeah,
where
exactly, the master
import,
sheet. Yeah.
import range for everything, and then I just compile
Yeah.
everything into one single sheet. It just saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still into that Google Sheets, but I got your point. Like CRMs, they're
Yeah.
getting very clever, especially with the OpenAI integration. Some of them they have done to take the whole thing to the next level. It's
Exactly.
very detailed actually, Adam. So now,
Yeah, so
Adam,
you might have
for
more like master sheets at some stage, which are getting the range from the other master sheets, and you have one master sheet. Yeah, so yeah.
no, no, that's really very cool, Adam. I really appreciate your time, all the wisdom which you have shared with us. That was not an easy task. I know it takes a lot of time to go through and learn all these kind of things, especially this Sales Navigator one. I've gone through Sales Navigator thing in the past. I was not really sure, like you can go and you can use that many kind of a filter, especially at the business level, because I won't lie to you. As a layman, we always go to the people section as well. That's the most
Yeah,
easiest and we always feel it
yeah,
is like just use couple of filters and that's it. But
yeah,
with the business section, you can even get their entire business profile as well. You can even
exactly,
see all their employees as well, which you can't really see in the people section because it's kind of a mix over there. You know what I mean?
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's really very
It's
helpful.
this mind shift. It's like once I show this to people, like, ah, okay, because now you really, like, you can start actually thinking like a business. You're like, okay, I'm focused on these guys. This is my market size. Like, this is the amount of companies there is out there. How
Yes,
quickly I can connect with these people, how much time it will take me to connect with everybody from the industry. Like, imagine, like, everybody in the industry. And once you start thinking with these ways, like, it becomes so easy because you don't have to connect, like, reach out to like hundreds or thousands of cold leads every day. Like, no,
yes,
you've got 1,000 companies you need to develop relationships with, get started. And it's so different. It's like you have this end number and you just go, okay, I add, like, every month I can add 100 people that will accept, yeah, my connection request. So it'll take me like roughly like a year or so to get through this 1,000, yeah, make these connections.
yes.
It's you start thinking differently. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Oh
And
yes.
then I
And
also recommend you connect with more than one decision maker if it's possible. Yeah, because for example, I reach out to, say, SaaS companies. Sometimes they're huge, um, but not huge enough for me to say only to connect with like department heads. For example, I can
yes,
connect with CEO, I can connect with a CMO, I can connect with a senior marketing director, and it's good because then I have a few people I can interact with from the same company. Brilliant. They talk about me, and it's easy. It's much easier.
yes, I agree. I agree to this because maybe one of them is on vacation, or maybe they are busy in some product launch or something.
Or
In
maybe
that
they don't
way,
like you. That's
they
also the
don't like
case.
you exactly. And because yeah, we are humans. We everyone is different in some way. So yeah, in that case, the having a connection with the different decision makers really gonna be very helpful, I guess. No,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
great, Sam. That's very noteworthy points, I would say, and I really appreciate you for this. And yeah,
100%, my bro.
thank you note. I want to put it now that thanks for coming on this podcast, man. It's really a
My absolute
pleasure.
pleasure.
Trust me, I was super pumped for this because I know that this guy has got a lot of stuff. Usually you come
Oh
up with
yeah.
an idea. You always try to cold pitch and you say, okay, maybe this guy knows something or not. But in your case, I was sure because I know you for a long time. I know this guy was
Yeah.
having a lot of stuff to share, and that
Thank
really
you,
goes.
Rohin. Thank
Now,
you, my
thanks,
man.
man. I really appreciate your time and look forward to catch up with you. And hopefully, we're going to have some more business and everything together as well.
100%. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. Bye bye.
Ciao.